It's the classic showdown, Ford versus Chevrolet, Mustang versus Camaro. On this episode of CarCraft Video, we line up a Fox body Mustang against a third-gen Camaro for a cage match of epic proportions. The Mustang will be getting a major upgrade in the form of a Godzilla V8 and Tremec TKX transmission, plus new suspension and brakes. The Camaro will be losing its original TPI 305 for a Stroker LS engine that will make nearly 3 times the power, and all new underpinnings from SpeedTech. Our ultimate goal is to race these cars against each other at Willow Springs International Raceway.
All right, I'm back from Roadkill Nights. We got sleep now. I promised you square things. We've got a Fox body here. So we're getting ready to put a Godzilla in it, which I'm super excited. Nobody has come to me to build a Fox body in the past 10 years. And I have missed the whole Coyote phase. We've done Broncos and F-150s and Cobra kit cars with Coyotes, but Godzilla is here and we're putting it in there.
It should be pretty insane. Can't wait to see how it measures up on the track against John's Camaro.
Oh yeah, we're gonna smoke John. We are Team Fox Body.
That's right.
We got some people over here, like Noah especially, that's Team Camaro, but we're gonna... I think it's hard to beat a Fox body. Really, when we come into this, I think Camaros are heavier. We can put more power in the Camaro. I just truly think the Fox platform is lighter, a little more nimble. I think there's a lot more aftermarket out there for us on our side. We're gonna truly see what this thing can do. Are you ready to get to work?
Yep.
We're gonna start ripping that thing apart.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So what we're doing right now is dropping the exhaust so we can get down and remove the Tremec TKX. Put that in just what feels like a few months ago, but now it's going to be repurposed behind the new 7.3 Godzilla. My first car was a 1989 Mustang convertible, automatic, and this is probably the third or fourth one that I've had, but I've definitely had this one the longest. I've owned this one since about 2005. My son was born in 2007. One of his memories that he likes to bring up is doing donuts in the mall parking lot when he was 3 years old. You know, they say that the sense of smell is like the sense most strongly tied to memory. And he said, I'm gonna miss the smell of that car. So I said, well, why don't I throw something in the car to see if I can kind of soak up some of that scent. So I put a classic industry shirt in the back seat to marinate in there for the next couple of weeks until the interior gets redone, and hopefully that'll hold on to some of that Fox body aroma.
There we go. All right, where a lot of people go wrong, this is a tech tip. On these Fords from the 80s and 90s, all the connectors right here, they say push on them, and they mean that. There's a flat blade where they go over. Everybody thinks they need to pull them. These things are brittle. They break. So this is the TFI module, which controls fuel injection, spark timing, and all that. You just push down on it, wiggle it off, and it doesn't break. We don't want all of them looking like this coil one here where it's broke off. In high school, I had 17 Fox bodies. Once I bought a Mustang, my best friend Brian bought a Mustang, then my buddies Steve and Eric bought Mustangs. And we were a Mustang crew. We started going out into some car meets. You'd meet up out there. We met some Marine Corps guys who all wanted to buy Fox bodies. And I had 2 of them at the time. So I sold one, took that money, built another one, sold the other one that I had, took that money, bought another one. It was heads, cam, intake, gears, and out the door. It just really became very addictive. There's my first baby. This is me and my friend who owns this Datsun up here.
Wow.
At our house in Pacific Beach. We were trying to figure it out. We didn't know how to drive it. Driveway was like that. And it was a 5-speed. A pastor sold it to my mother and she thought it was cute. Every single shot I have of pulling out of the driveway is about 45 seconds before Officer Johnson pulled me over.
He's waiting for you?
Well, I always left sideways. You know,
okay.
it was a very
He knew you
busy
were
street.
coming.
You needed the
Down
down the street, you know?
Personally, it's been awesome to really connect with Corey over Fox bodies. We both had a similar young adulthood, getting into these cars, racing them, having fun with them, and you know, it's super reassuring to see and work with somebody who knows so much about these cars, because he's got who knows how many hundreds of hours working on them. He's owned like 28 or 29 of them. So, you know, when he starts rattling off knowledge about what these wires and vacuum hoses go to just from memory without having to look at a diagram, you know, it's really impressive for one, but you know, it's also reassuring that we're going to get this car done right, and hopefully it'll kick some ass on the road course.
This is the point where you test the tensile strength of anything you forgot to take off. So we're gonna find out, Noah, if you wanna grab here, I think, yeah, see, we're already loose. Just to make sure we don't hit. We should be clear, but we might hang up. See this right here? Yep. So, Connor, up on that guy. Right now, we're gonna lift this body off of that motor. Bam. Now that we've got this Fox body underway, we're gonna head on over to John's house and check out the opposition. See how that Camaro looks and where I should start cutting wires like Noah did. Ooh, what's on the run stand? Oh, a mock-up block. What's up, John?
Hey,
welcome to the Warehome, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it. Is that your run stand?
It is, yes.
I like that.
I know, it's pretty sweet.
It's nice right here. I like your intake collection.
Intake, headers.
Gaskets, that's the things I don't have, you know?
I've been here for a while, kind of accumulated a lot of stuff, but it works, and I built a lot of cars here. And
all you need is a lift right here.
I know, everyone says that.
Just a lift.
There, but
there probably. Because that way you can still drive in.
Right, drive in and out. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
I like this. Oh, are those like your negatives?
Those are stuff that was from our archive at work that was about to get thrown out. Those are pictures from like the 80s and 90s.
That's so
grabbed
rad.
off a pile and thought I'd decorate the place a little bit. So.
Oh, and a block with a window in it for the view. You know?
That's right. So,
all right, you ready to kick the tires, light the fires?
Yeah,
what are we doing here?
What do you think of the Camaro right here?
Well, I want to see.
Beautiful.
Can you shut that door a little harder?
Beautiful.
Oh, Noah's all about it.
Oh yeah, no, that thing's
I'm just here to wreck it so the Mustang wins. That's it. Yeah.
This 1985 Camaro is actually not my car. It's a friend of the family. It's actually my son's cousin's car, but different things happened with work and kept putting the project off. So unfortunately, the car's been sitting here for about 4 years. It does definitely need some work.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, it's not that bad though.
You're gonna win for sure with the T-tops.
Oh yeah,
That's all I
just
know.
on style points alone.
Yeah.
You like the T-tops?
Oh yeah.
Hold on a second. It smells like a Camaro.
It does, doesn't it?
It's not going to be much like this for much longer. There's a 700-pound pallet headed our way today.
Oh wow.
That says this ain't going to be the same.
I wasn't expecting to go as far as we are with the Speed Tech suspension, which basically just like rips out all that stuff and replaces it with almost like race car chassis parts. So there's gonna be a lot of things we're gonna need to figure out. There's gonna be a lot of work between now and the end of the year to get it running for our track day.
Tune port.
Yes.
My good friend Tommy Morgan was in love with tune ports.
No kidding.
And when he passed away, he left me about 6 tune port intakes. They're just, I don't know. I can't throw them away. You know, they're like memorabilia. I mean, we went to a swap meet. The first thing he went, there's a tune port intake, and I've never seen him use one. He just, for some reason, that must have looked so futuristic to him when it first came out.
Yeah.
He had to have it.
We've talked about the engine and transmission combo, which is going to be about a 404 cubic inch LS engine, a 6L80, 6-speed automatic transmission behind it. I hear paddle shifts are in the works, possibly, so we'll see how that goes.
I just want to say one thing, John.
Yeah.
The Mustang did drive to my shop. We're going to load this thing up on the pooper scooper outside, put it on the trailer, and we're going to take it to paint. What color are you going with?
Ferrari red.
Ferrari red?
Ferrari red for the Ferrari hunter.
Smoke some Ferraris with some Ferrari red? Yeah. I like it. I like it.
The Ferrari Hunter concept came from a conversation between Steve Strope and I, and that was for a sketch pad issue themed in Hot Rod. Steve and I talked about different budget builds and how you can take cars that don't cost a lot of money, do a fair amount of work to them, some of it's yourself, and some of it you have to spend some money, but this is all reasonably priced builds that we put in that issue. And he came up with the Ferrari Hunter concept. So that's kind of been in the back of my mind when the concept for this build came up. We're going to change some of the elements from the Ferrari Hunter concept and Sketchpad, but I think the spirit's going to stay the same.
All right, so we finally got everything out of the engine bay. We've got the old motor out, K-member out. We're getting ready to test fit the Godzilla in there. We're gonna test fit it today, but we wanna paint the engine bay. It looks pretty rough in there. I'm sure Gabe's gonna appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, it's seen better days.
So, Ford Performance sent us a 7.3 Godzilla crate motor. This is as it comes out of the truck. So F250 gas motor. This thing is a monster. Some of the challenges we have putting this in the Fox body, what we've seen from others that have gone before us, is that this exhaust manifold right here is kind of in the way of the steering. We could come around it, but then we'll be trimming into shock towers, which is something that we could do because we're running the SLA front end, but we'll more than likely have Richard up the street at RPM make us a new set of headers to clear everything in the car, make spark plugs easily accessible like they are on the manifold, and hopefully create a little more horsepower. As you can see right here, our throttle body is pointed up at about a 45-degree angle. This comes into play where it becomes a problem because you need to make a transition here for air. And our hood, as the car comes forward, slants forward. So what we're gonna do is, Ford Performance sent us a car intake manifold. This is the first time I've seen one. I know they're available now. It's quite a beautiful piece. It's kind of low profile, pretty. It's gonna make probably a little more power here, and it'll be a little more low profile, definitely here in the throttle body zone. So we won't have to come up and make a corner, which means we can come off and make a corner towards where the air intake tube came on the Fox body originally, and we can get a nice, flat, smooth, straight sample area for our mass airflow sensor, which we're gonna be running with the Ford Performance control pack. This engine makes like 430-ish, 460 foot-pounds of torque from the factory. In the way that we're gonna run it here with this intake manifold from the car style, we'll call it intake manifold, we've seen some numbers in the 515 to 530 horse range and in the 515 to 540 foot-pounds of torque. So this thing's gonna be a pretty big monster in there.
Oh wow, this thing is so light. Big one? Yep.
This K-member is it's a chromoly unit from Team Z. It's very lightweight. I know that Noah loves this texture of the hammered paint on it, or powder coat, whatever they're choosing to use. They have it set up for the Godzilla engine. So it comes with its own motor mounts. Everything's already set. We should be able to plop it down there, throw 2 bolts in it, and you're good to go. I've kind of fallen in love with this Liqui-Moly copper anti-seize. It's just some really good stuff. It just feels like liquid bearings when you're putting it in something. So we're just gonna put a dab on all of our motor mount bolts here as we go to put them in. What we could do is we could loosen the motor mount bolts just a little bit on the block, just a hair. There you go. When you were 16, you thought you'd ever have something like this?
I never dreamt it would be this cool.
I mean, we were dreaming. Saturday Detention, 5.0 magazine. I'm gonna buy a Vortec. I'm gonna make 340 horsepower.
Yeah, that was the dream, right? If you touch 4, you're doing pretty good,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I mean-
Muscle Mustangs and Fast Fords, it stoked our dreams, and look what we can do now with a crate motor.
In our next installment, we figure out how to fit steering, suspension, and brakes around that awesome Godzilla V8. Plus, we will be assembling the Camaro's new engine.
Grab that cover.
There you go.
Oh,
We got
we're-
latch engagement.
We're in the latch.
Yeah. Now we're like inch and a half, inch and a quarter.
You get a 2-inch cowl. Cowl starts here. You're about 1.5 inches up there.
Yeah. I think I have
we're-
a 2-inch cowl.
I think we'll be
Hood
good.
coming. Yep, should give it plenty of clearance. Be in great shape coming off.
Yeah.